Hello and welcome to SudoKanard. As you can see on the screen, Akash Doulani, the great Indian author, has released volume number 9 of World of Sudoku, his great series of Sudoku books, and this one contains 120 Kira Sudokus. They are all handcrafted, and the man knows how to make a Kira Sudoku. This is a very old school Sudoku, not that old school actually. You don't have all cages around the grids. This is very well done, and you have various levels of difficulty. And well, I'm speaking with some inside knowledge because Akash asked me again to test solve all the puzzles in the book. So I was fortunate enough to try them all, to solve them all, and I can tell you the difficulty has a wide variety. Some of them are perfect for just practicing quick solve, I mean speed solving. I would say the first fourth of the puzzles, they are easy enough that you can race through them, and then they increase in difficulty. And for this video, I've chosen a puzzle that is quite somewhat in the middle of the pack, I would say. So maybe here, that's a better view. Oh, all right. This one is middle of the pack. When I test solved the puzzle, it took me 6 minutes, which is not, I wouldn't say average, but a median score. Well, some of the puzzles at the end of the book were much harder, and they took me up to 20 minutes to solve them. So you can see that there's really a wide range of difficulties. And so I've chosen this one, which is of intermediate difficulty and which showcases a lot of, well, ingenious stuff that Akash puts into his puzzles. So where do we start? So you can see that this is mainly cages with 3 cells, and you may think, oh, 6 with 3 cells, 7 with 3 cells, 24 with 3 cells, so this will be very easy. And it makes for an easy start, for sure. So 6 is with 1, 2, 3. 7 is with 1, 2, and 4. And with 1, 2, 3 here, that has to be a 4. So this is 1, 2, 4. This 24 is with 7, 8, 9. And I should mention that the book contains all decompositions as an appendix to the book. But, well, if you have some practice with Kira Sudoku or with Kakuro, you must know those unique decompositions. So now 23 is with 6, 8, 9, and the same is true here. And here I would like to mention some very common stuff here, which is that here we have a quadruple. And by this I mean that in this column, you know that you need the digits 6, 7, 8, 9 to fill in those 4 cells. So you need those 4 digits for those 4 cells, so you know that the 4 digits will be there. And inside those 4 digits, the 6 will be here, so that this is not 6. And inside those 4 digits, 7 is here, so it's not here. And this is the kind of eliminations that can be really helpful for this kind of puzzles. And I know that Akash likes to play with geometry. All right, something else in here is that those digits here are 3, 5, and 6, but 6 does not belong in an 8 cage like this. So what belongs in here? If this is 5, then those must be 1 and 2. And if this is 3, then those must be 1 and 4. And knowing that 4 is here, then this has to be the 1, this has to be the 4. So you see, you may think that's a lot of options, but you can see that this creates a 1-2 pair, and therefore this is a 3. Oops. And this 3 tells us that this is a 5, and finally this 8 cage is with 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 5, sorry. 5 is not here, that's actually a 6, and that's a 3. All right, so along this row, we still need 7, 8, 9. Those make a 7, 9 triple, 7, 8, 9 triple. Now, 22 has two decompositions. One of them is 9, 8, 5, the other one is 9, 7, 6. So in all cases, this contains a 9, and you can remove 9 from this cell. And now I'm seeing this. Well, if you look at the table, you will know that there are 3 decompositions for 13 and 2 decompositions for 14. So at first glance, it seems like there are lots of options for those, but not so many actually. And what is interesting is that here we have something like a 4-cell cage, with a sum of 27. And if you're used to decompositions, you don't necessarily know all the decompositions of 27 as the sum of 4 digits, but you know that there is a 9 in them. You know that the highest 4-cell total you can have without the 9 is 26, 8, 7, 6, 5. So there is a 9 in there, and we can remove 9 from this cell, and therefore on this row, that is a 9, that is an 8, that is a 7. And this is probably some advanced killer technique. I mean that this is probably not needed to solve this puzzle, but this is something I have found, and I really like that. So this is a 9, this is a 6, 8 pair, and on this row we have a 6, 8, 9 triple, and we know that the 9 is in here, so that's not a 9. And this as well is probably not needed. Now where do we look? This 22 contains the 9, it contains either 7 or 8, and the other digit is 6 or 5, and the remaining 6 or 5 is here. Where is the next place of interest? Here we have a total of 21, and the total of the whole 3x3 block is 45, so the remaining 3 cells sum to 24. So this is a virtual killer cage with 7, 8, 9, so this is not a 6. And those are from 7, 8, and 9, and one of them is a 7. Where else can we look? Let's see. Oh, this 1, 2 pair tells us that this is a 4, obviously. So here we have 23 plus that, that's 37. So those 3 digits sum to 8. So the options are 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4. And you can see that neither 3 nor 5 is in here, so the digit 3 or 5 will be here. 5 will be here with 1 and 2, except that that is not a possibility because there would be no option for this. So 5 is not an option here, that's a 3, and those are 1 and 4. And I don't remember doing this when I solved this puzzle, so it shows you there are several ways of tackling such a problem. So with 1 and 4 here, that is a 2, this is a 1, that's a 2, this is a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1. And we're left with a 6 and a 7 in there. And here this is 2, 5, and 7. 7 is not here. So where do we go from here? This 10 cell, this 10 cage, sorry. If you look at the table, you will see that there are 4 options for 10. So it seems hopeless at this point, except that we can rule 3 of the options out because of this. This is not 2 and 8, this is not 6 and 4, this is not 7 and 3. This has to be 1 and 9. And there's the 9 in here. That's 2, that's 1, and this 2 makes this 5. And here we are. Oh, earlier in the solve I had mentioned this 6, 8, 9 triple, so this has to be the 7. And now with this 8, 9 pair, this has to be the 6. That's not the 6. The 6 on this row is here. And this 7 turns this into an 8, and this is now a 5. With 6, 7, 9 in here, there's a 7 here, so that's the 7. This is a 6, 9 pair. This column still needs a 7 and a 3. 7 does not belong in here. That's a 3, that's a 7. So this is 6, this is 7. This plus that must be 6. So this is 2 or 5. Right. Next place of interest. So here we need another 9 without using the 3, the 7. So that's not 3 plus 6, that's not 7 plus 2, that's not 8 plus 1, so it has to be 4 plus 5. And this is a 1, 2, 6 cage. 6 is in here, so 6 goes there. This is a 1, 2 pair. This 11 cage does not use the 7, does not use the 6, does not use the 9. There are 4 options on the table, but removing those options, you see that only 3 plus 8 works. And using this, that's a 3, that's an 8. This column still needs 2 and 9. There's a 9, there's a 2 here, sorry. And here we need 4 and 5. Oops. This 8 now makes this a 7. So now what are the options for this? If you look at your table, you will probably find that this 27 cage with 4 cells has only one option without the 7. Well, actually, there's something that I would say is more fun. Here, without using the 7, this could be a 4-9 cage, or it could be a 5-8 cage. But I will tell you that 5 and 8 is forbidden because of this 14 cage. And why is that? Because the 2 options for 14 are either 5 and 9, which is not possible with 5 and 8 here, and the other option is 6 and 8, which is not possible with 5 and 8 here, which means that 5, 8 here would prevent both possibilities here, which would be a very bad thing to do. So the only option remaining is with 4 and 9. This is 6 and 9. And knowing that, the only option here is 6 and 8, which resolves 8, 9 ambiguities. And that's it for this part. Now, how do we finish this? This column needs 5 and 8. We don't have them at this point. Here we need a 3 and a 4. We don't have them at this point. Let's have a look at this. Here we need 5 and 3. We don't have them at this point. Here we need 6 and 8. So some work is still to be done. Here we need 2, 4, and 5. There again, we don't have them yet. Here we have 4 or 5, 2 or 5, and 3 options there. And let's look at this column, perhaps. We still need 1, 2, 3, and 5. 1, 2, 3, and 5. And something very interesting here is that we know that 2 and 5 are in here. So inside this region, 2 and 5 are forbidden in those cells. So inside this column, the second 2 or 5 must be here. And now on this row, we have a 2, 5 pair. which turns this into a 4, this into a 1. And now to complete this 13 cage, this has to be the 5, this has to be the 2. This is 5, 4, and 2. And this is what's more a technique of Sudoku than a technique of Kira Sudoku. And this is also something about Akash. He likes to put some Sudoku reasoning. It's not pure Kira. You still have to do some Sudoku from time to time. And, well, using Sudoku logic in a Sudoku puzzle makes sense. So now this 5 turns this into a 3. That's a 5. Now this 3 interacts with this 3 to put a 3 in there. This one here goes there, and we get the 2, the 1, the 2, the 7 here, the 4 there. And this is not quite over yet. This column needs a 7. There's a 7 here. So that's the 7. This is from 6 and 8, but there's a 6 here. So 8 there, 6 and 8, and this 8. Now this ambiguates that. And the final digits shouldn't require any explanations, I think. This is the 1, this is the 9, and this is it. So that's a really beautiful puzzle. And this is, well, middle of the pack, as I was saying, in terms of difficulty inside the whole book. And this is quite representative of the kind of challenge, well, not the challenge that you will encounter in every puzzle, obviously, because there's a wide diversity of reasonings, but this is the kind of all around the place logic that you can find in the book. So I would like to thank Akash for asking me once again to test solve all his puzzles. I had a lot of fun doing that, and I'm very happy to promote his book a few days after the release. So you will find the link in the description of this video if you want to purchase this volume, and on the page you can find also links to other books by Akash. I don't have all of them, but I have some of them. I'm sorry about that, and it's always a lot of fun. And thanks for watching this video. See you pretty soon on SudoKanard.